Hello, it's been a while since I've done a book review, and today I'm going to review The Art of Asking: How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Let People Help by Amanda Palmer. It's published in 2015. This is the book that paused me from doing my usual book reviews. It's been my goal this year to review every book that I read, and I've pretty much done so. But when I read this book, it punched me in the gut. It grabbed me. Amanda Palmer is an artist. She is a musician, and she really dedicated her life to doing this thing. When I read her book, it was the audiobook, so there were pieces of her music interspersed a little bit at the edge of chapters, etc. And I felt like I wanted to do art too. It one of the things about reading books is books are consuming. Reading books is consuming, but writing books is creating. And I've written books before, and I have a few book ideas that are in the middle. But when I'm reading, I'm not creating. So it's like, oh, her story. She's famous for coming up with the, I guess, Kickstarter that funded her album, which really gets to the point of, hey, how do musicians make money? Who are we dependent on? Can we reach out directly to people to support us? And her life, she tells the story of her life. It's about depending, very vulnerable, depending on people to have her life and to do her art, which was so compelling, and I understand this, so compelling that she couldn't not do it. So, I could tell you stories, but read it yourself. Have your own experience with it. Because I'm telling you about the experience I had while reading and after reading this book. I actually intentionally slowed down because I wanted to savor the book. And I do not do that. It is my policy, my general practice to read as fast as I can and just consume the book. This one I intentionally slowed down because I wanted to be in the experience of this book for a longer time. I wanted to make art. And in fact, she talked about doing music. So behind me right there is my keyboard. I got it out and I started messing around. Like, I really want to plug into that part of me. I think it did like a physical change in my body, that I was reading differently, I was seeing the world differently, and I had my priorities shift because I wanted to make more art. And I wanted to do it with other people. That's one of the things about writing. You don't have to do it with other people. Completely alone. I'm like, well, I have to remember that I am creating for more than just myself. And it gets messy when you have other people. Other people are so annoying. But I love them and I want that. Am I willing to be all the way vulnerable and admit what I want from them and keep asking until I get it? Until I get an audience, until I get a group of people that get me. So I read the book, and of course I was reading other books as I was reading this book. But it changed the taste of the other books. And I'm really looking at how I want to spend my time and how I want to be in the world and how I want to be in community with people. I don't know how to do it, but I'm getting some ideas of how I want it to feel. And that's what this is a really altering book. It's a book that really altered my worldview. And I put my keyboard in a place where I can reach it more easily. And now I'm playing almost every day. Not for long, but just as a place to start incubating more creative art. That's what this book did for me. So now I'm like, well, what now? The old habits, the old assumptions are not so comfortable, because my highest goal, and it's always been, is to create. And that's kind of hard. How am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to do it by making it important and making room for it. That's what I've got. This book messed me up. That's my review.